Hey everyone, Dash here. Hey, it's been a while since I've sent out a video, and today is one of the most exciting days I've had in a long time. I got a new toy. I got here an AV20f. It's a new 2020 model Grapple. It's the Frontier brand, which is also John Deere's brand. And just picked it up today. Ordered it about 3 weeks ago, and it came in here at the dealership in town. And just gonna unload it, try to do a little bit of a review of it, and let you guys know what I think. I'm not seeing many of these Grapples on YouTube. There's quite a few people on greentractortalk.com that have posted their experiences about them. I hear a lot of good stuff about these AV20f Grapples. They're relatively lightweight, and I'll go over some of those details here in the video, but hopefully my experience with it will help you make some decisions on buying a Grapple. I originally wanted the one that TTWT uses from Artilian, but that comes with a pretty hefty price tag, especially if you want the dual clamp model. The single clamp one is nice and relatively in that $1,500 to $1,600 price range, but you also have to buy the pallet fork frame and so forth, and that upper Grapple just isn't really that wide, and I'm sure it'll do fine, but I wanted something a little bit wider, and so I decided to go with the AV20f model. All right, so here it is. I got it on the front loader here, but I don't have the hydraulic connected yet. Stickers are still on it and everything. It looks super cool. I did just install the Artilian diverter kit just this week. I didn't record it because I wasn't 100% confident in knowing what I was doing, but actually it wasn't too bad. I got it hooked up. I tested it. It works good. I ended up wiring the switch right here that goes on the control lever, the hydraulic lever. I ended up wiring that directly to the fuse box, so it's not connected into the cigarette outlet or the accessory outlet. I'll do a little video on that later, probably, just to outline some of the differences in the TTWT video. He does a really great job at explaining on how to hook this up, him and Catriel, but his is I think it's a 2015 model, so there are some minor differences that maybe those with newer models might want to be aware of if they decide to go with the diverter route versus an SCV valve. So I'm going to hook this up, and we'll give it a shot, and we'll go over some specs here in a little bit. So if I do a video on me using the Grapple, please don't make too much fun of me. I've never used a Grapple before in my life, so this will be my first attempt, so it might not look that awesome, but I'm going to try, and practice makes perfect, so over time it should get better, we hope. Well, I've identified my first problem. I just unhooked the hoses, and the ones on the Grapple come with one female connector and one male connector, but the diverter kit comes with two female connectors. I may need to make a trip to the hardware store or Tractor Supply to try to find the appropriate connectors, but I should probably read up on it first to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Alright, found a solution. So what I did here was I took the male coupler off of the hydraulic hoses that I had to remove in order to install the diverter kit. So you remove two of the original hydraulic hoses, and then you install the two that come with the diverter kit. So I just used one of those couplers, and it seemed to turn out fine. I lost a little bit of hydraulic fluid. You can see that there on the concrete. Whoops, I gotta clean that up. But it seems to be working good, so I'll do a little video here for you, and we'll see how it works. Hey, by the way, I tested out the box blade for the first time, like full use. and I did my driveway. It looks awesome. The box blade worked really well. I'll probably do a little bit more review on that later. Yeah, it turned out great. I graded my driveway, I put a slope to it, put a crown so that it drains water really well. Waiting for the first rain to really test it out, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. Just wanted to make mention of that. Worked great. Hey folks, I'm going to show you a few different clips of me trying to pick up a few different objects. The first is this pile of wood. This was a complete and utter failure. Like I said, go easy on me, but you can also grill me if you want. I'm very novice. I'm kind of a newbie at this, so practice makes perfect. But some objects are just much harder to pick up than others. This was just not the ideal situation. I didn't have the right approach. I should have approached it from a different angle. That would have made life a lot easier for me. And as you can see here, the clamp just wouldn't close far enough because the pieces of wood were upright and prevented the clamp from closing any further. Now this rock was challenging, and I knew it was going to be, and that's kind of why I chose it. I know I'm going to run into some pretty challenging situations in the real world like this one. This rock was maybe, I don't know, a third to maybe halfway into the ground, and I just wasn't able to get a hold of it. I couldn't see very well. As you can see, the tractor is actually angled uphill, so my vision was kind of blocked, and I just couldn't see the tines, and it was quite difficult to get. Eventually I got it, but you can see how difficult this was, and there I was. I got a hold of it a little bit, dropped it, came at it again, and there isn't much space for the front, the grapple tines between that wall of rock and the actual rock that I'm trying to pick up. So you have to be really precise in some of these situations, and I found that very challenging here. Now check out this bank shot. If I was an NBA player, I couldn't have planned this better myself. Okay, so this is the funniest scene to me in this whole video. These cabinets came from my garage. I just tore them out this past weekend. I put up some new shelving. Well, I wanted to try it out on the Grapple because it's such delicate material. And so you have to be, quite gentle with it, and well, you'll see how that turns out for me here. for it. Great job, Dash. Okay, so the last one was the funniest. This one is by far the coolest. Watch how easy this is. Hey folks, this thing is so cool. I'm really impressed with it so far. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the controls. First time using the Grapple, really liking it so far. Being able to pick up that huge rock was awesome. I mean, that was the easiest thing to do. So I'm really looking forward to using it. We have some properties in Wisconsin that I'd like to help use this to clean up a lot of brush, rip away some trees and weeds and move logs. All right, time for some specs. This information here comes right from the John Deere website. It's actually the same website that I ordered it from, and they don't send it directly to you. They send it to the nearest John Deere dealer to you. The nice thing about that is you don't have to pay any shipping costs. So all you pay is the price of the Grapple plus the tax, and then shipping is virtually free, but you do have to go to your local John Deere dealership to retrieve it. Now they set it all up for you. They make sure everything is right with the loader, or the hydraulic, excuse me, and then they just load it in the back of your truck. So it's really not too bad, but you may have to travel depending on how far your dealership is from you. But this is a 53-inch wide Grapple, and the Grapple is made for the 100, 200, and 300 series John Deere loaders. Anything larger than that would require a different style of Grapple in the AV series. The weight of this Grapple, the operational weight is 203 pounds. The shipping weight is 223 pounds, but you'll see in some of the news articles when this Grapple was first released that they were claiming it's about 160 pounds. That's a little light. I'm assuming that is just the Grapple itself. That does not include the hydraulics, the hydraulic cylinder, and the hoses. So that might be a little bit confusing to you, but the actual operational weight is 203 pounds. It has 7 lower tines and it has 4 upper tines. The maximum cylinder clamping force is 945 pounds, so a little shy of 1,000. I would have liked to see it at least 1,000, but you know, you saw me lift that big rock. It seemed to clamp onto that no problem. I don't know if you really need thousands and thousands of, you know, pounds of clamping force. I'm not sure. Maybe you do in some applications, but for what I'm using it for, 945 I think will be plenty. It has a 1-year warranty on this, so that's kind of reassuring. Sometimes that's obviously if you use it correctly and you don't, you know, overload its capabilities. But you might notice that, and you'll see this on greentractortalk.com. This is a 2020 model. It has a stop right here. Older models of this particular Grapple did not have this stop, and this is important because you'll see on greentractortalk.com that a lot of these were bending all the way back, and it was putting too much stress on the hydraulic cylinder, and so it's very important that these stops are there. So I just want to point that out, that these newer style ones do have those that extra metal to protect it from folding all the way back on you. Now, for weight comparison, going back to the 203 pounds operational weight, let me compare it to a couple other Grapples. This style of Grapple right here is very similar to what is available at CT Attachments. I haven't seen a lot of reviews, very many at all, on CT Attachments, but the style is almost identical to what Frontier makes. and vice versa. So they make a 50-inch wide bucket or a grapple, and then they also make a 55-inch and I believe a 60. So this is a 53. It's kind of right in between. They're about the same price. I paid final after tax. This was about $1,640, and then like I said, I didn't pay any shipping. And then of course I had to purchase the hydraulic diverter kit from Artelian, and that was $742 was the base price, and then I can't remember what it was after tax, but $750, $800. And so you know, altogether it's a pretty hefty investment. You're looking at $2,200 to $2,300, but it does some amazing work, so I guess it's worth the price. Now back to the weight. The Artelian grapple that you see like on Tractor Time with Tim is an awesome grapple. You've seen the capabilities just by watching his videos, and I love TTWT and his videos. They're awesome. That actually inspired me to get a grapple by seeing the amount of work that it can do. But in terms of the weight, if you get the similar Artelian grapple with the single clamp in the middle, the single grapple, they call it a rake grapple rake setup. Those rake sections weigh 40 pounds each. The grapple section weighs 90 pounds, and then of course it's a modular system, so you have to buy the pallet fork frame separate, and altogether that weighs, the fork frame weighs 73 pounds, and so when you put the whole thing together it weighs 243. So this weighs 203. The Artelian grapple with the single grapple in the middle weighs 243. So this is actually a little bit lighter, and that's advantageous because you can lift more. But are you really going to notice 40 pounds? I'm not sure. But it's a statistic that some of you may want to know. Well, hey, I hope you guys liked the video. Please stay tuned, like and subscribe, and you'll see a lot more of this in action coming up this spring and this summer. I'm really looking forward to using it. I'll give a more in-depth review on what I like about it, in combination with the Artelian diverter kit. Like I said, I'm still getting used to the button, so stay tuned and we'll find out more.